Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for Congresswoman Lucy McBath's Vietnam War Commemoration Pinning Ceremony. My name is Adam Veal. I am the Deputy Communications Director for Congresswoman McBath. In just a moment, I'll be introducing a video from Megan Woods, our Wounded Warrior Fellow and Veterans Representative for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Welcome, and thank you for being with us for today's Vietnam War 50th Commemoration Pinning Ceremony. My name is Megan Woods, and I am the Wounded Warrior and Veteran and Military Representative for Congresswoman Lucy McBath. I will be leading you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Congresswoman McBath.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. We're so excited that you are here with us today. We really, really appreciate you. I just can't tell you how excited I am once again to be here with each and every one of you. Welcome to our virtual 6th District Vietnam War Pinning Ceremony. This is our second one, and we're just as excited this time as we were the first time to honor you. My name is Lucy McBath, and I am your Congresswoman for Georgia's 6th Congressional District. And I am so grateful that we're able to gather virtually for this ceremony, and I appreciate your patience given the delay that COVID-19 pandemic has caused us. And I'm very glad that our connectivity has given us the ability to do this safely together. And it's a long overdue ceremony of public recognition for our Vietnam War veterans. We're here today to thank and to honor the brave individuals who served during the Vietnam War era. It's estimated that over 9 million military personnel served on active duty from November 1st, 1995, which coincides with the official designation of Military Assistance Advisory Group Vietnam until May 15th, 1975. Which marks the end of the My Ngoes incident, the last battle of the Vietnam War. Millions of brave patriots served America honorably during this period. In Georgia alone, 234,000 veterans served during the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was a very controversial and divisive war for many Americans. As a result, far too many Vietnam veterans suffered beyond the field of battle. At its time, the Vietnam War was the longest lasting conflict in American history. And for many of the service members returning home, there was no homecoming parade or celebration upon your arrival. For years, service members came home as more troops continued to deploy to combat zones. Many service members faced a politically hostile reception upon their return to the United States. Returning veterans often personified an unpopular war to many who had actually not served, and some critics of the conflict in Vietnam took no issue voicing their dissatisfaction directly with our Vietnam veterans. The struggles for Vietnam veterans did not end after the protests were over. Veterans struggled and continue to struggle today with obtaining the benefits that you were promised by our government. This chapter of our country's history isn't easy for us to talk about. It's filled with pain for veterans and for their loved ones and for their families. It took years for America to address the plight of these brave service members, and there's still a great deal of work that needs to be done. But we're here today to take one more step toward a proper public recognition of gratitude to our veterans, our Vietnam veterans, on behalf of a very, very grateful nation. I want to take a moment today to consider a phrase that I hear frequently in my line of work: public service. It's a concept that I and my staff, my team, take very, very seriously. Each time I talk with a veteran, I'm reminded of the debt that we all owe to you, the public servants who have served and sacrificed for this country, for us. Your selfless public servants who have raised your right hand, and you reaffirmed in an oath that so many of us would probably never be able to consider. An oath to protect this country, to risk your life out of a sense of duty and obligation. And I'm truly humbled to be in the presence of such a group of individuals who felt so strongly that sense of duty to our country. And I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to publicly recognize you for your service. Before we begin this morning's pinning ceremony, I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Major General Arnold Fields. General Fields retired from the Marine Corps in 2004 after 34 years of active military service. He has served America all across the globe. At the time of his retirement, he served as Deputy Commander of Marine Corps Force in Europe and Africa. After his retirement, General Fields was appointed to the Department of State and assigned to the United States Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, as Chief of Staff of the Iraq Reconstruction and Management Office. In 2008, the President of the United States appointed General Fields to create and head the Office of Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. His military decorations include the Navy Distinguished Service Medal, Defense Superior Service Medal, Bronze Star Medal with Combat V, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Combat Action Ribbon, and the Vietnam Service Medal. General Fields currently serves as a senior advisor to the Vietnam War Commemoration, and he resides right here in our district in Alpharetta. General Fields joined us last year for our very first Vietnam pinning ceremony, and it's my distinct honor and privilege to introduce him once again today. Major General Arnold Fields, thank you so much once again for being with us today.
Thank you, Congresswoman McBath. The honor and all of the thanks actually go to you for your tremendous leadership, particularly in support of our veterans at large, and in this particular case of our Vietnam War period veterans. And just to be clear, for the purposes of the commemoration, Vietnam War period veterans, Vietnam War veterans are those who served on active duty any place and anywhere in the world, actually, between 1 November 1955 and 15 May 1975, as the Congresswoman has articulated. And so we are reaching out to thank and honor all of those veterans. So I will add that when we commenced this commemoration as a result of congressional legislation back in 2008, it really, in fact, got seriously underway in 2012. There were approximately 7.2 living Vietnam War period veterans. That figure today is now approximately 6.2 million Vietnam War period veterans living. And we count in this their families as well. So Congresswoman McBath, thank you for allowing me this second opportunity to support you and the 6th District and your, in particular, your veterans our Vietnam War period veterans and their families. Thank you so much for what you're doing to ensure that that element of our veterans and of our warfighting history is properly thanked and honored on behalf of a grateful nation. We would certainly like to be present with you today, in other words, together. Of course, as the Congresswoman has pointed out, we are all under the restraints of COVID-19 in the interest of everyone's health, especially our Vietnam War period veterans, their families, as well as our commemorative partners across the United States. But I assure you that as soon as the restraints are lifted, we want to get back to business in the communities, such as I was privileged to support in Alpharetta last November. And I look forward to that opportunity personally. And I also will share that my colleagues at the Vietnam War Commemoration look forward to the same. Now, I need to say a few words about who we are and why we exist. Congresswoman McBath has already done a superb job of pointing out why this commemoration has gotten underway. In particular, we didn't recognize our Vietnam War period veterans as we should have as a nation. This is in spite of the fact that our nation has had and really still continues a tradition of thanking and honoring its Vietnam War veterans and all veterans that served in the defense of this great nation. But we failed to do that as a nation during the Vietnam War and subsequent to the Vietnam War. So Congress took note of this long before 2008, when the legislation was enacted that actually created the Vietnam War Commemoration. So we're trying to make up for some lost time. And to do this, we have enlisted commemorative partners all across the country. The figure right now is somewhere at or about 12,000 organizations, not individual people, but 12,000 organizations around the United States of America and elsewhere that have formally signed up to help the nation reach out, find, thank, and honor its Vietnam War period veterans and their families, consistent with the legislation that went into effect in 2008 and the commemoration which formally got underway at a ceremony at the Wall in 2012, the 28th of May 2012, which happened to have been Memorial Day. Now, sometimes I struggle to try to find words to succinctly describe what this commemoration is all about and why it exists. Congresswoman McBath has done a great job of succinctly informing all of us on this line today, and I'm sure in her messages elsewhere, why this commemoration exists. I would like to read a short excerpt from the more lengthy speech that then President Barack Obama delivered at that announcement and proclamation ceremony held at the Wall on the 28th of May, Memorial Day, 2012. And here are the former president's remarks, and I quote, "And one of the most painful chapters in our history was Vietnam. Most particularly, how we treated our troops who served there. You were often blamed for a war you didn't start, when you should have been praised or commended for serving your country with valor. You were sometimes blamed for the misdeeds of a few, when the honorable service of the many should have been praised. You came home and sometimes were denigrated when you should have been celebrated. It was a national shame, a disgrace that should have never happened. And that's why today we resolve that it will not happen again," unquote, former President Obama, President of the United States of America. So since 2012, we have reached, by considerable assistance of our partners, such as Congresswoman McBath, approximately 3 million of the living Vietnam War period veterans and a substantial number of their family members. We still have approximately 6.2 million that we need to reach, and we are counting on organizations such as Congresswoman McBath team and organizations across the United States of America and in our territories to help the nation find those veterans in order to thank and honor them. We know that, as the representative pointed out, that our Vietnam War period veterans came home to a very unthankful nation. And we are trying to correct that. And we have established various means by which to do that. In my case, I'd like to shake hands and pat on the back, and those who will accept it, I'd like to hug as well. We're not doing those things today, but I hope we're able to crank those techniques up at some point in the near future rather than in the distant future. We established, with the assistance of our Vietnam War period veterans, many devices that we present to family members and to Vietnam War period veterans, one of which is the Vietnam War Veteran Lapel Pen. We refer to it as the VVLP for short. There are many devices and symbols on this pen, but each represents the United States of America. I will highlight a couple of them. One is the eagle, the bald eagle representing our nation. It is, to me, the most significant of the many symbols that are on this lapel pen. The eagle represents courage and commitment, just as every Vietnam War period veteran provided to this nation during his or her service, whether or not that service took place in Vietnam or elsewhere in the world during the Vietnam War. So that is why, of that 9 million that Congresswoman McBath mentioned, we are reaching out to thank and honor the now 6.2 million, minus those that we have already been privileged to thank and honor, as soon as we possibly can. We know, at least we know at our office, and you may know as well, that our Vietnam War period veterans are passing away at the alarming rate of 534 per day, according to the Veterans Administration. And that number, as you know, as we of that age group get older, is only going to rise. So there is a sense of urgency as we reach out to find those Vietnam War period veterans, so that other organizations such as Congresswoman McBath is doing may be able to reach out and help the nation thank and honor them. We appreciate the fact that those who served during the Vietnam War not only fought a significant war on behalf of this great nation, they went back to their respective communities and they continued to lead. Some of them stayed on, for sure, in active duty and retired from service, while others did their tours respectful of their commitment and continued to serve in various capacities. High school teachers, mayors of cities, PhDs, doctors, and nurses went on to continue their contributions. This is significant because it represented the attitude of the majority of those who served during the war. They were, in fact, very committed to this war, and I'm pleased that Congresswoman McBath is reaching out today, and as she did back in November of 2019, to help this nation thank and honor them. One individual who comes to mind that I think represents much of the attitude of those who served, whether they enlisted on their own volition or were drafted during the Vietnam War. But there's a young man from North Carolina who became the youngest service member to perish or die in that war. He was a mere 15 years of age. He actually enlisted when he was a mere 14 because he doctored his birth certificate so that he might serve his nation. It happened to have been as a United States Marine. But not long after he arrived in Vietnam, he was killed in action, perishing at age 15 and dying on behalf of his country. He wanted to help his family because a parent had passed away and he was sent to some relatives from North Carolina in New York to live and to grow up. But his willingness to fight for this nation, to sacrifice as did he and his family on our nation's behalf, represents so much of the attitude of all who served during that period. And I note that there are several, if not many, on this line today, here to be thanked and honored by Congresswoman McBath for your service and for your sacrifice. You and others like you were my mentors. I'm about the same age as many of you who are on today, but I want you to know that when I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1969, it was after TEP. Much of the work in Vietnam had been done. Many of our servicemen and women had perished during that war, killed in action. So there was a lot of work to be done, but I, as an individual, benefited from the leadership of those who had gone in advance of me to that war and who had served in our nation in uniform. And I want to thank all of those who may be in sight or hearing of my voice today for what you have done for me as a citizen and as a Marine. I am grateful to you for your service and for your sacrifice. Now, there are many out there among the 6th District of Georgia and all of the districts, congressional districts across the United States of America, and individuals in our territories as well, who may not take it upon themselves to participate in an event such as we are enjoying and commemorating here today. We are asking that you reach out to find those folks you know, may know who they are, you may know where they live. Not all of them are inclined to visit our commemorative partners and to participate in activities at which they may be presented this Vietnam War veteran lapel pin. But there are others who might be able to reach them and to ensure that they do receive this pin, which is kind of the signature device honoring our Vietnam War period veterans. And there are similar devices for their family members as well. So we have done a lot along with our partners to thank and honor. I thank you on behalf of the Director of Vietnam War Commemoration, recently appointed Major General United States Army retired Pete Inward. I thank you also on behalf of the Secretary of Defense, because according to the legislation, the Secretary of Defense was authorized to establish this commemoration and to lead it. So it is to that office and to that entity and that senior leader within our government that we report. I would like to say that all is well and everything is well, even though our activities have slowed down a bit because of the COVID-19 restraints. But we are still thanking and honoring Vietnam War period veterans and families all across the United States of America. I want to also thank our World War II veterans within sight or hearing of my voice today, and those who may not be, but who may eventually hear of this event today. And also those of the Korean War and all of the other wars that may have been fought, and some of which are ongoing in the interest of our nation. I recall when I came home from the Desert Storm War along with my troops, we were received with open arms, participating in big events such as ticker tape parades in New York City and reviews in front of the President of the United States in Washington, D.C. Our Vietnam veterans did not receive such a thing, but I'm very pleased that we are honoring our recent warriors as they return home. And it's nothing like it was when our distinguished warfighting Vietnam War veterans returned home. So on behalf of the Vietnam War commemoration, on behalf of the director, on behalf of the Secretary of Defense, and of a grateful nation, thank you for your service and for your sacrifice. And Congresswoman McBath, thank you for once again for what you're doing in support of veterans in the 6th District and from your vantage point in Congress of all veterans across these United States. Thank you so much. I am greatly and personally honored.
Thank you so very much, General Fields. We really appreciate you and appreciate your words. Thank you so much. And we are so lucky, as I said once before, to have you with us today a second time. And we as a nation are very grateful for your decades of service. And now it's my honor to begin today's pinning ceremony. Established in 2008, the United States of America Vietnam War 50th Commemoration Pinning Ceremony honors veterans of the Vietnam War for their heroic service and pays tribute to their selfless contributions. We're gathered today to honor veterans with a commemorative lapel pin, as well as a certificate of special recognition. Veterans participating today were on an active duty or became a prisoner of war during the period of November 1st, 1995 to May 15th, 1975. Veterans, as your name is called to be recognized, please place your pin on your lapel or shirt collar, or have your family member or friend that is with you place it on you for you. In addition to the veterans who we will be recognizing today, we're also joined by the family of a Vietnam veteran who has passed away. Before I introduce the WOODLING family, I would like to take a moment of silence. I'd like to take a moment of silence to make sure that we are actually honoring his memory and honoring his sacrifice and all that he did for us in America. Thank you. And we offer many blessings to his family as well. I am so sorry. I have lost my train of thought here for a second. Okay. We'll now begin recognition of those Vietnam veterans who are here with us today. I will begin with veterans from the Army. Then we'll have veterans from the Navy, and then the Marine Corps, and finally the Air Force. And as your name is called, please place your pin. Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to go back. Oh, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. I'm getting ahead of myself. I do apologize. Okay. May we never forget the brave sacrifices of those who served in Vietnam, who are no longer with us. And now it is my solemn honor to recognize the WOODLING family who are with us today in memory of Sergeant Frank Woodling. Sergeant Frank Woodling served in the Army in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive. He served from 1967 until 1969. He is survived by his wife, Edith, and their children, Frank and Catherine. Edith, Frank, and Catherine, on behalf of a very grateful nation, thank you for honoring the life and memory of Sergeant Woodling.
Thank you.
Is there anything
Thank
you'd like
you.
to say? Anything you want to say? Thank you so much for honoring his memory with us.
He was a wonderful person. He died of a heart attack in 1996. He has two beautiful children who have carried on his legacy of service to the community. And we're just so grateful for you honoring him today.
Absolutely. And please know that we're in service to you. So if you ever need us, please call upon us, okay?
He was from California, and he enlisted and of course went to Vietnam. And then we were very fortunate that he moved to the Southeast, and that's where I met him. So thank you.
Catherine, did you
Yes, thank you on behalf of my brother and my and me for this honor. It's still sad that he was not recognized when he was alive for his service, but we are so appreciative of this honor today. So thank you.
You're more than welcome. We do honor him, and we honor you as his family as well, because we know that you served right along with him. So thank you so, so very much. We appreciate you, and God bless you. We will now begin recognition of those Vietnam veterans who are here today with us. And I will begin with veterans from the Army, then the Navy, then Marine Corps, and finally the Air Force. As your name is called, please place your pin on your lapel or shirt collar, or have a family member or friend that is with you place it there for you, and have them present the certificate to you, which we have already mailed to you. The United States Army. Sergeant Edward DISTLER. Sergeant DISTLER served from 1968 until 1974. Sergeant DISTLER served at Fort Jackson, Fort Knox, and in Vietnam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for recognition. It was a difficult time coming back, but I know you're making up for it right now, Congresswoman. Thank you.
Thank you. We're honored to serve you. Next will be Specialist Richard LAPIN. Specialist LAPIN served from 1969 until 1975. He served at Fort Leonard, Fort Bragg, Fort Benning, and Fort Bliss.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Next is Specialist DOLPHUS Lewis Sr. Specialist Lewis served from 1963 until 1965. He served in Germany at Munich and Augsburg.
Yes. Right. People as they call them.
Can you hear me, Congressman? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I just want to remind everyone that we are not suckers and we are not losers.
Absolutely. And we're
You know what I mean?
We're grateful that you're here, and we're so grateful that you served our country. Thank you so much. Our next honoree is Specialist William Lowenthal III. Special Lowenthal served from 1969 until 1971. He served at Fort Dix, Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Benning, and Fort Hood. Next, we will honor Private Ronald Signal. Private Signal served from 1969 until 1975. He served in Vietnam. Thank you so very much. Next, we will honor Command Sergeant Major Arthur White. Command Sergeant Major White served in the Army from 1967 until 1997. He served in Germany and Vietnam. Next, we will honor Specialist John WIESCHHAUS. Specialist WIESCHHAUS served from 1970 until 1971. He served at Fort Belvoir.
Thank you, Lucy. I'm very honored to be recognized today, and to all the other servicemen and women that have served, including my uncles and my mother-in-law, and a lot of people in our family have served over the years. So very proud of that. Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. We're very proud of you. And now we will move to the United States Navy. Our first honoree will be Petty Officer 3rd Class Glenn Gamma. Petty Officer Gamma served from 1969 until 1973. He served 2 tours in Vietnam.
Thank you very much. And I'll pin it right there. Thanks.
Congratulations. Our next honoree is Petty Officer 3rd Class Louis Gruskin. Petty Officer Gruskin served from 1962 until 1964. He served on the USS Kearsarge. Congratulations. Next honoree is Petty Officer 3rd Class William Halls. Petty Officer Halls served from 1964 until 1967. He served on the USS Enterprise in Vietnam. The next honoree will be Midshipman Sam Mason. Midshipman Mason served from 1967 until 1968. He served at the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis.
Thank you, Congressman McBath, and thank you for everyone participating. I appreciate the honor.
Oh, congratulations. We're very, very proud of you. Our next honoree is Lieutenant Junior Grade Lloyd Whitall Jr. Lieutenant Junior Grade Whitall served from 1967 until 1970. He served in Rhode Island, Athens, Groton, and Charleston.
Thank you, Congresswoman McBath. And like my father who served in the Navy in World War II, the Navy was calling to me. And served with great people and honor from day one I was there to today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We honor you too in your service. Congratulations. And now we will move forward to the United States Marine.
You never said you were on a nuclear submarine.
No.
Our first honoree will be Lance Corporal William Brown. Lance Corporal Broughman served from 1967 to 1969. He served in Vietnam. The next honoree is Lieutenant Colonel Jack Swallows. Lieutenant Colonel Swallows served as a Marine from 1964 until 1984. He served in Vietnam. And now we'll move forward to the Air Force. United States Air Force Senior Airman Herman Anderson. Senior Airman Anderson served from 1964 until 1968, and he served in Vietnam.
I thank you, Congressman. I thank all the veterans and family that's on this call for recognizing Vietnam veterans. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Our next honoree is Sergeant Howard Avery, Jr. Sergeant Avery served in the Air Force from 1964 until 2005. He served at Lackland Air Force Base, Chanute Air Force Base, and Craig Air Force Base. Our next honoree will be Airman First Class Earl Jones. Airman First Class Jones served from 1964 until 1967. He served in Vietnam. Our next honoree is Staff Sergeant Terry KARNES. Staff Sergeant KARNES served from 1967 until 1970. He served in Thailand at Nakhon Phanom Air Base. Our next honoree is Sergeant Charles Williams. Sergeant Williams served from 1966 until 1970. He served at Homestead Air Reserve Base in Florida.
Thank you, Congress Lady McBath, and thank all of our other veterans who are with us today for the service they've provided to our nation. And thank you so much for the care you're presenting and the care you're providing for veterans. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much. We're honored to serve you. To each veteran in attendance today, and I believe that Sergeant Williams was the last veteran that we're actually honoring at this moment. To each veteran in attendance today, I want to thank you so very much for your service. But a simple thank you just simply is not enough. It just really isn't. And what we do after thanking our veterans matters far more than just what we're doing today. Our country cannot stop just at this gratitude for this moment in time. We must do more of the hard work to make sure that those promises that this country made to you are fulfilled, and that benefits our veterans earned, that you earned for your service, are received. That is why I introduced the Haven Act, a bill that has now been signed into law, a bill that helps protect the economic security of veterans and your families. I worked hard with Republicans and Democrats to make sure that this bill was signed into law by the president. Protecting our veterans isn't a Republican or isn't a Democratic issue. It's an American responsibility. And I'm proud that during this Congress, my colleagues and I have passed 24 bipartisan bills that have been designed to prevent veteran suicide, housing insecurity, and other issues that affect our men and women who wear the uniform. We've even corrected a decades-long injustice and ensured that Blue Water Navy veterans, Vietnam veterans, can also access the benefits that they earn after being exposed to Agent Orange. But you know, our work has really only just begun. We've got to continue to do that work and show our veterans that we are standing up for them, that we are standing up for you. We must come together as a country, as a nation, because as I said earlier, you know, your service to this country is not bipartisan. You are all American heroes and sheroes. And we must come together as a country and make sure that we are fulfilling the promises that were made to those of you who risk your lives for this country. And I'm humbled by the opportunity to be a voice for you in Washington. And I'm so very, very grateful for the chance to honor so many of our veterans, our Vietnam veterans today, in this long, long overdue public recognition of thanks and gratitude. So thank you all for being with us here today. Thank you so much for your time, your effort. Thank you so much for your service. And thank you for your selflessness. That's the most important word I can use or could ever speak on your behalf, is your selflessness. Thank you so much. And it was a privilege and an honor for us to be able to honor you today. Please continue to stay healthy, stay safe. God bless you all, and know that we are here for you if you ever need us.